Guys, welcome back to the Stanley Parable. Dun dun dun. Anyways, we are about to set the time. So let's get it. Let's get it. It is currently 1:43 p.m. We're gonna do 1:44 to get ahead. Oh. Alright. Just gotta wait for this minute to pass by, so we're gonna talk a little bit. So, how was everyone's day? How's it going, y'all? I'd just like to say it's an honor to continue streaming almost daily for you guys. I'm loving this game so far, and I hope you are too. 1:44 p.m., your favorite time of day. Or could you simply not resist giving me the correct time again? After all, I know how much you enjoy setting the time correctly. Okay, now I'm curious how accurate 1:44 p.m. is. Let's use another slider to find out. Accurate. You know, can I just say, regardless of the accuracy of the clock, I'm having a great time adjusting these settings. I feel like I'm learning more about you and how you like things to be set. It's good to collect data. I wish we had more sliders, but we've gone through all the sliders I have. Perhaps I can invent some new sliders to gather new data on you. Shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, let me whip a couple new ones up. Should be ready by the next time you boot up the game. Okay, so the next time we boot up the game's gonna have questions. Oh yeah.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. It was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push.
We'll see if there's any changes from the first one and the
This
second
is
one.
what employee 427...
Bored now. Let's see what else we can do.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
Yeah, bucket!
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
How truly insightful.
Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Nope.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The
I want that
cargo lift,
collectible.
yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
I want that collectible. And hopefully we don't mess up the little parkour thing we got going here.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines. And now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlets. What do you think, Stanley?
What?
What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Yas! Alright, time to go back. We're going back through the hole. We gotta be super careful here. Okay. Now where do we end up after we go back through there? Hmm. What's this?
Okay, this is day number 295, tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore.
Huh.
The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling.
Stop picking it up. Easy.
And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why
I feel like there's going to be a jump scare in this game. I don't know why.
Differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it.
Oh, what?
Yes.
Bruh.
It's
Sounds like a YouTube video, am I right?
Money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
Oh. Whoa. What the hell?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Perhaps. Nah, I don't need a bucket. Let's see what happened when I don't have the bucket.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I want to go to the meeting room again and see, nearby a fireplace, a private but smelly place for an important person. There will be a reward for finding them all.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler Anmarines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it.
I knew this bathroom had something.
Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler Anmarines. None of us can.
Figure annularines. To be rich, is it a crime? To commit crimes, isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. Well, I believe that's a fireplace.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy. so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Just open the fucking thing. Open the fucking thing, mate. I don't want your fucking New Age music. Oh, sorry.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked
Yes!
forward into the opened passageway.
Grass, yes, poor favor.
And there it is, the last Stiggly Wiggly.
Woo!
Stanley, this is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Yeah. Where's my reward? The meeting room said there was a reward. I think I'll have to go back to the meeting room.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Yep.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
La-di-da-di-da. La-di-da-di-da.
But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he, nope, still on board with death.
I love fucking with the narrator. So fun. Let's see if death is still the same as the last time we came here.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Yippee!
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Yippee!
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When
I
every path you
remember
can
this.
walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
I see it, but I don't want to believe it. I believe there's a way out, and I will find it! Because I am the best at what I do. There's nothing here for me.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not.
Woo!
Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save those two. You can stop the program before they both fail.
Turn off your PlayStation. There's
Nope.
no other way to beat this game.
As long as you move forward,
I'm not
you'll
doing
be
that.
walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Sorry. Maybe when I'm not streaming, I'll probably do that choice. Because, I can't, like, have the stream, and then it... Yeah. So, let's...
Pause on things. It's those figurines. Those
What?
fiddlers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more
What?
than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
No. You're wasting my time. I have to get back to the meeting room. You know what? Fine. Now remembering when Stanley found the collectibles. Oh, what a world, what a world.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said six right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
7 out of 6. What?
And here was a second Stanley. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around by the red and blue doors. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest, back then I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
Yippee!
Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
I think it was this one.
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here, under the stairs. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything.
Where do I go from here? Ah.
Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh, well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
No, it didn't happen. And then it was...
This was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was in the boss's bathroom. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
Oh no, oh my goodness. Come on, dude. This is not no normal video. What?
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
What? Please, just kill me.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here behind the boss's office. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other.
Yeah.
Except for the other
hey, how's it going?
Figurines, which it was exactly like.
Now let's see what we're doing.
There was no more. Because
You are in the
caught
present.
up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, memory zone.
Is that what we get for collecting them all? I still want to know. I felt like a waste of time.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels. Okay, yes, the back of the boss's office. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind.
Oh,
Let's
no.
keep going.
Come on. Come on.
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched? Yes, I love that video.
Oh my goodness. Then we went to the pink room.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room.
Yeah.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
Next one. Ooh-wee. Alright.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
That's right, the
It's
jumping.
the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then. But time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Yes, the two doors! Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
Classic.
And before everything else, there was your office.
Let me make a phone call.
Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. became lazy, and I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions, he would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine
narrator, shut up!
Companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he
Oh
was
my
fictional.
god.
But I suppose it's grown old. I want
Yep.
myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own.
Clickety
again.
clackety,
I
click,
can
click, click,
do
click,
it.
click, click, click,
I'll
click,
be
click,
stronger
click,
this
click, click,
time.
click, click, click.
I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay.
You tripping,
here we go.
narrator. We're doing
This
it
is
10
the
more
story
times.
of a man named Stanley.
10 more times.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
Yes!
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Alright, let's see if the meeting room changed.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
I guess it did change. Back to normal. Ha!
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Oh, no, not this way. I don't want to do that back and forth thing again. We're going to go to the boss's office. I should have taken the door on my right.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to
What was
discover
it?
not
2,
an indication
8,
of any human life.
4, 5?
Crushed by the weight, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Alright, let's keep it going, y'all. I'm gonna head downstairs.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
No. I disagree.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything
I've
like
played
this,
these
and it very
games
nearly
before.
burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket.
Never!
His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
This is my bucket.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
What's that
For
say?
he and the bucket
I don't
would
even know.
dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way. The bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system. But at the
Lol.
last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly birds.
Birds.
The control buttons became active again. Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him.
Birds,
This
birds,
wasn't a
birds,
mind
birds,
control
birds,
facility
birds,
of
birds,
all.
birds.
It was a facility for monitoring
Birds,
and
birds,
surveilling
birds,
silly
birds,
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 all
birds,
over the
birds,
world.
birds,
The
birds,
mind
birds,
controls
birds,
were only a
birds,
facade
birds, birds.
to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands. The
Birds,
one who had
birds,
pointed
birds,
towards
birds,
this
birds.
incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable.
Yay!
possible
Wait, where's
paths
the
his
penguins?
life
I want the
might take.
penguins.
This one was surely the best. And Stanley,
I want penguins! Penguins! Yes! Penguins! Can I leave now?
all of his
Birds.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply... Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone. Not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door
Lol.
on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes, good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
So the bucket is opposed to the narrator? At least that's the vibe I'm feeling. I'm not sure about any of this
In
anymore.
here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Yippee!
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket. This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
What am I... Where's the bucket? Wait, no, that's not it. What do I... Oh.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head. Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All
Where's
it
the
will ever
bucket?
truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
If you say so. But where's the bucket? I want my bucket. Oh. Huh. Oh no. I'm so bad at this. Where's my bucket? Where? Oh, there it is. I'm blind. Don't listen to the loud man. Press any button for us to go back home.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is this awful bucket. This stupid hunk
Oh,
of
is
metal.
someone jealous of an inanimate object?
It's sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
Oh my god.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another. Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket? Oh no, I'm having feelings for the bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes, the bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
It's mine, you can't have it. Go back to work, Stanley.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to
No
the
bucket?
meeting. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh wait, the bucket's in here. Yeah, no, I'm not taking it this time. Oh, I didn't realize I could crouch. What else can I do?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I miss my wife, Tails. I miss her a lot.
Sublime, a work of art.
We're gonna go
What
towards
was it
that
about
ending.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Psych, you thought.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Let's go.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to...
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
I'm good.
Sorry, but you're in my story now. How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minute? Something crucial happened while my senses were turned. He made a note to be more careful with time from now on. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yes.
Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time understood true happiness. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Here we go. I forgot where this leads.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go,
Oh, yeah.
From here, it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No,
Lol.
not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right?
I forgot this
What was I
ending.
thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Let's go.
Oh. No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Damn.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
The balloons
Stanley
are gone
decided to go
too.
to the meeting room.
So is the
Perhaps he
bucket.
had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story.
Yeah, you are.
Right here just a minute ago.
Fix
I'm
your shit.
sure that it's
We were
here
just...
somewhere.
We already did this.
Okay then, it's an adventure. Come, Stanley, let's find the story.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's see. That's not the way to go. This is the maze here. I figured this out a while back. I think it's this way. No. I just went back to the doors. Haha. Oh.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it
For
a
real.
shot. Why not?
And then there's gonna be no doors.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Okay.
Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way
Lol.
and retrace our steps. Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley?
Narrator's
What?
forgetting again.
Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
It really paid off, so good job.
Woohoo!
Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair
Neither
and
did
square,
you.
and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Bruh.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
See what happens when I don't follow the line.
No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
Oh. Line these nut. What's in here? Cards? What do you want? You want to fight? A game?
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably
What the-
conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience.
Okay,
of
I'm just
that
going in
existence,
circles.
right? Okay, now if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that.
Huh.
You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
No! No! Turn it off. Turn it off. No. No.
Cut the music, go back and look at that fern.
Nope.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through...
Somebody got fired?
Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it.
I didn't see that before. Is that Stanley's work thing? Did he get fired?
Stanley, I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Yes.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just
Is
me
it?
and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Balls. That's what it's gonna be.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
No. No.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From
Which
here,
door-
the story is in our control.
Which door did I go
How
through last
important
time?
We mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts,
my
the
God.
door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
We can't go through that one.
Hold up, what's this? The confusion ending.
I've been
You're
playing the
telling me
confusion ending.
that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? What if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be.
We're gonna begin the game again because narrator's being annoying.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? The
Bucket.
Bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Yippee!
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd come into a staircase. Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Thank goodness for memory. Okay, good. My mic's still on. Can you all hear me in the comments? Let me know. Let me know. If you want to talk to me in stream, you know, I'd be very happy to talk back. I like having conversations with my audience. Okay, let's see. How far are we in? 54 minutes?
Head through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Okay, wait, what if we have the bucket and we go
Although
down
this
there?
passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
What? No, not the bucket too. No! No, not the
The door
bucket.
behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Alright, time to save this clip. Sorry, guys. We are back. I'm gonna play for a little bit longer. We'll see if anything changes. I want to get very far into the story. Probably by next episode. Let's see if anything changes now that I have the bucket. I already witnessed the bird
As the machine
ending.
whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was crushed violently to death.
No, bucket, no!
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant
This
in
is
their own
different.
way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
Is there really a memorial for the bucket?
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short
Inferno
life?
bucket? What the?
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
My bucket.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
What the? Okay, so the bucket. Should I take the bucket again?
Where
Yeah.
are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Nope.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Nope. I will not go to the cargo lift. Now we bring the bucket around to the voice recorder.
Okay, this is day number 290.
Yeah. I don't know about all that.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I don't know what else to do here.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd... Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
I've already seen that ending. Let's see what happens when I go in the elevator with the bucket. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Nothing. Nothing ever happens.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into it, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it what the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Okay, so we have another two options for the last thing. I'm trying to get to all the endings.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Let's go!
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
The bucket has emotions? He was about to cry? So was I!
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do?
I didn't see that fired thing
These
before.
questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control.
He screamed
Never!
into the bucket.
He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Ah!
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotion that this machinery would never...
Yippee!
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support.
Let's go! Let me out.
What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
What? Oh god. Okay. Well, if you guys enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe. And thanks for tuning in my streams. I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Also, Hatsune Miku's in Fortnite. I can't wait.